How about now? Okay, we're in business. Okay, dum-de-dum-dum day. Okay, we'll be calling on you folks today. We're going to give you some criteria so it goes a lot faster. But it's every once in a while you need a checkup from the neck up, as they say. And what does all this that we're doing have to do with succeeding? Well, that's really was a major uh, point in the live event over here. That came up a lot over here, and I'm sure you're seeing if you're buzzing around the back office and comments, you're seeing some people really taking charge of their life and remarkable things happening because most people live life backwards, and that's sort of what we straightened out over here. Not that the people that came over here were living it backwards, but it's about this thing about following bliss and pleasure. So let's do this 1 minute and then we'll get busy.
Follow your bliss does not mean get addicted to pleasure. Okay. Follow your bliss means finding the core of passion and excellence within you. It is to pursue excellence and ignore success. And if you do that, of course, success will be a byproduct, but you're expressing the highest potential within yourself. And when you do that, you lose track of time. You experience ecstasy. And for when you express that, there's a need in society for that particular expression. And when society sees that, it honors you. It makes you a hero.
So that's the deal. Okay, let me plug myself in here. I gotta wait for my little hardware thing to come up. There we go. All right, use new hardware. Love new hardware. Okay, so why is that important? Well, why is that important? Why is that important now? And we're going to play that right really in the last class that you get the whole point from another angle. It's fundamentally that if you got to this point and you're actually doing the work, or last week you discovered, holy crap, if I had done all this a little harder, I would have already developed the habit of persistence, and now you've decided to really dig in and sort of backtrack a little bit and get really fundamentally sound. It's all good, doesn't matter. It just matters that you do it. It doesn't matter how you get it. It doesn't matter when you get it, as long as you get it. But the point is that you find this passion, this incredible gift that's within you. And to the people that get on this path, which I like to call them illuminated, the illuminated ones, they understand that a lot of us have some really nice attributes in different combinations, and those attributes are a gift. And that basically one of the things we talked about over here all 3 days and every night by the fire pit and that with the Q&A stuff late at night was to become transparent to the transcendent, meaning the force of all good is showing through you. So I'm telling you this because we kind of beat you guys up from time to time through the persistence week, but it's all to help you try to understand that you are marvelous, you are incredible, and it's only the cement Buddha that and influences outside you that can diminish that point of view. It's not about being arrogant, it's about being humbled by your own gifts and just letting them shine. So this is how we're going to do it, by getting busy with the Mastermind Alliance. And last week we started to kick it up a little bit. This week is sort of a full-blown mastermind session that we'll have, so you can get it, but we need to understand exactly what it is today so you can actually feel an authentic mastermind. So there's a call next week as usual, but there's no call the following week. Now we designed this thing, everything we do is for a reason. And there is a method behind the madness. You guys are engaged in something that we've been doing for, gosh, close to 20 years, I think 18 years. And we've learned a lot. And we've already asked you for feedback once, and we'll ask for feedback again when the course concludes. Of course, you're a lifetime member, and we're restarting another one, so plug back in. But we like getting feedback right when it finishes up because it makes us better. And one of the things that we've done over the last few years is make a major shift. One, we have a skip week. And the skip week is to help you start to feel like first you're relieved, boy, there's no call next week and I actually do something at Saturday on this time instead of having to be on this webcast. But you'll notice some feeling of void or that you're missing something, and that's to try to get you to understand the power of a mastermind, of being around positive people. It's also been mine and Davine's adamant point of view, and we will never move off this. And when I say never, I'm violating the rule, never say never. I mean, we will never say it. We see so many quote unquote self-help people. Dave and I are not self-help people. We're self-action people. There's a significant difference. Um, they just keep directing you to more of their stuff. That's not what we do here. We're directing you to the greatest teacher that you'll ever have, and that's the power that's within you. So it's really the beginning of you becoming self-directed. If you go to a lot of these, famous and wannabe famous gurus, it's one upsell into the next one, into the next one, into the next one, into the next one, and the next thing you know, you're paying 15 grand or something for whatever. We work exactly the opposite here. I've said it before. The Sufis said you already know everything you need to know and already have everything you need to have. One resonating thought through all the authentically illuminated ones, from Buddha to the carpenter from Galilee to Plato to Aristotle, is that you already have it in you. You're connected to all the truth you needed the day you were created. And so our point has always been not to lead you to dependency on us, but to lead you to self-directedness and help prepare you for post Think and Grow Rich. We've all been to a major event and we're all jazzed up, and then we get on a plane, we come home, and then we're a little less jazzed up, and all that positive energy is gone. So this has taught us, by experimenting with it on other people, um, that it motivates most of the former members to get a mastermind alliance together before this ends. Whether it's with a couple of people here as a sort of half step before you eventually build one inside your network marketing organization. But basically, we want to encourage you, don't let the bad habits back in. Focus on how far you've come and where you're going. So we're preparing you 2 weeks before for a week off, and then I'll tell you right now, we end this course before the book ends. So you're working 2 more weeks, so you're continuing with the same routine even when this is done, and start to feel that wonderful self-directedness and proud of who you are. We really appreciate the kind words and compliments that we get in the back office areas, but the truth is it was always in you anyway. And all that you're recognizing that you think is great or smart or brilliant or insightful from us is really something. Remember the consciousness story about diamonds, it was within you anyway. So this is always a really important thing for me. We're sort of shifting roles here with you and trying to help you understand that you already know all this stuff, and to be self-directed on a daily basis without us holding your hand and pushing you and all that. Of course, you're going to get assignments through the middle of July to finish it up on your own, which is really important that you finish what you start on your own. That way you'll have ownership of it. So notice the dynamic. Here's our buddies again, and I want to caution you, when you get to this slide, don't go check your email. There's nothing more important than this. Matter of fact, when we teach the Master Keys, which all of you will be invited to, it's a $1,400 course. You're all invited into that course for zero. Okay, there'll be a really minimal materials cost for you, and you'll have to get a blog hosted. But other than that, Dave and I have decided that we do it about every 2 to 3 years, and we're basically going to give it away to you guys, and we're not going to allow the public in. But this is the whole shooting match. So don't get tired of this. Don't take this for granted. This is the most serious thing of all, because when you can control your thoughts and you start to really get into a couple of good questions about the law of dual thought, really get into understanding that you can attach a feeling to any thought that comes into your consciousness, and you also obviously have control over whether or not you allow it into your consciousness. But this creates the belief, which creates persistent action, which creates the results. So what we want you to do now is, everybody needs to know that you've made a decision to create a mastermind alliance. You saw the formula for persistence. We'll go over it again. But a mastermind alliance helps us stay accountable, helps us stay persistent, and helps us stay productive, and in truth, it brings the best out in us. So let's talk about a mastermind alliance, because that's what you're kind of gonna be reading up on this week. But it's two or more people working, and this is key, in perfect harmony. Okay, it's not about cooperating. Carnegie got rid of people that were cooperating and doing a good job. He just got rid of them and replaced them with people that were in perfect harmony for his definite major purpose. And for some of you, that's going to feel a little uncomfortable, but we'll show you how to get over that in the next week or two, because you're in the most remarkable industry on the planet, the easiest industry on the planet, to set up a mastermind alliance that is about your definiteness of purpose, and have people support that, because of the principle behind the mastermind alliance. So we've really been preparing you all through this course, along with the developing the habit of persistence, which you recall is just a byproduct of 4 little habits, is that the DMP of a mastermind alliance is not a joint decision. It's not a group of people you get together with and say, hey, let's form a mastermind. That is total baloney. I've used up all my cuss words. So that's total baloney, all right? It is your mastermind alliance. It is your definite major purpose for that group, and you're sort of going to write out a little mission statement for that mastermind alliance. Now, today we're going to get to a point where we turn this into a full-blown mastermind, and I'm going to share my DMP for this mastermind that I put together next week, and show you some ways I've set up that you can fiscally benefit from that and why that is. But it's to serve as a model for your DMP and then for your multi-level marketing group, okay? So what we want to do to process faster this little mastermind feeling, I want you to give us your PPNs, a 1-sentence DMP, not a 27 little sentences run on, okay? And I'll give you an example of that in a minute. A date, 2+ feelings, and then your plan, so that we can so someone else can sort of give you some feedback on that, mastermind around it, if you will. So have the exercise from this week's workbook handy. In other words, the obstacles you perceive on 2 levels. So we want to speed up this process. So when you get on when you're called on, you're going to give us your PPNs, 1 sentence, the money and the pin level. Yeah, we know it's not all about the money. We get that, and there's you know, we all want to save the world, save our families, whatever. That's all taken for granted, okay? No one would be in here and building a plan if it was just about the money, okay? But the date that you'll hit it, 2 feelings, and then share your plan. So have the exercise, like I said, from this week handy, so you can point those 2 things out. So here it is. Here's the real formula. It's a definite major purpose, right? And we worked for the first 6 weeks on your definite major purpose, actually a couple of weeks on that, and then 4 weeks on building a burning desire, faith, auto-suggestion, specialized knowledge, and imagination. And now we're into organized planning, which is your written plan that's expressed through continuous action. You've discovered that it's the burning desire that's a trigger for a continuous action. But it's a mastermind alliance. You need all 4, okay? This is so big because imagination is everything. You've got to see it in your mind, not for 15 minutes, and then attach a written plan of action of how you're going to get it. Otherwise, it's just a daydream, okay? So you've been doing a mastermind alliance. If you've been doing the drill, like I said, there's a method behind everything that might seem like madness to you, and that is if you have been reading The Guy and the Gal in the Glass every night and looking that person in the eye, you've already begun, haven't you? The people that have done that, you can tell. You can tell. They just have upped their game because they formed that mastermind alliance with their own integrity. Okay. Now, do you understand that you get to decide that you can be in the top 5% of the earners on the planet, and earning is nothing compared to what comes with it, and that is what that little clip I played, that it's your bliss. You have to follow your bliss and experience ecstasy, okay? Because you're available for other parts of the life, and it's all wrapped up in there. A mastermind alliance is going to analyze your written plan of action. That's what puts you in the top 5%. So what is your objective, right? PPNs, DMP, SMART goals, when, why, etc. Okay. Remember persistence, a DMP backed by a burning desire for its fulfillment, a definite plan, that's what we're going to look at today, expressed in continuous action, a closed mind to all negative thought. You want to leverage the 7 laws of the mind, and of course you went through the mental diet. Remember last week we talked about interrupting all the little things we've suggested that you do. Keep interrupting the old blueprint with the 7 laws and the tools, okay? And then the key is a mastermind alliance of people who will encourage you to follow through with plan and purpose. And what does that mean? It means with plan and with purpose. It's really both, and that's key. What's the purpose? Your definiteness of purpose. So this all fits like a hand in a glove. And you know, beavers have persistence. They got a burning desire. You see that dam up there? Man, I lived on Plum Island. I'm telling you, those beavers, busy as a beaver is no baloney. I'm telling you, they're relentless. They got a burning desire. They got a definite plan. Nothing discourages. They don't have a negative thought. Okay, that's the only thing. And they work as a team. They support each other. Okay, so if the creator gave that to a beaver, you know, which is really sort of a supersized rodent, I think he gave it to you too. I'm just guessing, but you can make a decision on that. So ready to have your plan evaluated? Remember that franchising consultant, right? The 7 answers. So let's pick up the pace one more time. Your PPNs, your financial goal and or PIN level, your purpose in one sentence, what the major feeling or feelings are. For example, my PPNs are legacy and true health. So I would start this way. My PPNs are legacy and true health. I'm going to derive peace of mind and joy, have a compound, and I'm going to be P90X RIP before 425.14, earning $600,000 3 times a year before 12/25/15. Perceived obstacles was the size of the list and inexperienced in network marketing. Now, the Mastermind Alliance solution that I got, by the way, was get specialized knowledge, look into outsourcing, work with B-listers. Those are people that they're not A-listers, they have good-sized lists, and give greater value via Think and Grow Rich. I want you to remember that because we're going to talk about that next week. So use your imagination. This is how a Mastermind Alliance works. Members were given 2 assignments. We're going to go over them right now. Okay, so let's mastermind on the WPA and then the virtues. Notice which module we're in. Okay, so there you have it right there. I'm going to pop this open. Is Kathy on the call, honey? Yeah, Kathy's on the call, so I'm going to unmute Kathy. Kathy, you can unmute yourself. I'm going to put all the hands down. If anybody wants to raise their hand, that'd be great. Okay. So John Cunningham, we're going to get John. Hi, John.
Hey, Mark. How are you?
Doing awesome.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Perfect.
And let's see who else we have here. D. Dombrowski. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so let's see what we got going on here. So D, this is,
Yes.
How are you?
I'm blessed and highly favored.
Yes, you are. We
Thank
used to
you.
have someone that's very close to my favorite response from one of our members to say, "How are you?" He'd say, "I'm flawless," which is just a wonderful thing to
No one
assert.
can hear you. Tap to unmute.
Okay, I can hear you, Kathy. No, I can't. Okay. Okay. So what we're gonna do? I muted you, Kathy. I'll unmute you in a minute. So Dee, why don't you go first and
Oh, great.
share? I gotta write these things down. Hold on a minute.
Okay.
So you go ahead, let's hear your statement. And John, you're going to critique her based on these things that you see on the screen, okay?
Okay.
My PPN is True Health and Helping Others. I have a steady flow of $6,000 per month on or before August 26, 2015. I blissfully celebrate the deluge of money, which gives me great joy to unequivocally help both married sons financially, bringing their dreams to fruition, and also provide my only grandson a proper education. Additionally, helping others who are less fortunate is rewarding feeling of epic proportions, giving me great pleasure. I devote 12 hours a week studying Think and Grow Rich and compiling my lists to kick off my multi-level marketing business in August of 2013.
That's it?
That's it.
Great. Okay, so you have a plan to get started on the 13th. Okay, so John, give her some feedback.
Okay. Well, you have a plan there, and obviously it's written down because you read it, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and you had a specific date, and it's I like it. There's probably, maybe as a suggestion, there might be a few more specifics, like, how are you going to create the list? Do you have a specific time during the day that you're going to make those calls? And just take that and make it a little bit further into exactly what's the action you're going to take to achieve that.
Great. Thank you.
Great. I think that's great feedback. Let me see if I can get Zip Zimmer here. She's the planner. She's got herself muted. There you go. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you awesome. I hear those beautiful pear-shaped tones.
Okay, that's good. I agree with John. It just needs to be built out a little bit better with regard to details, the how-to details, so it can be better communicated to others. So that was right on, John.
I have, if I may say something, I had submitted my DMP a long time ago and resubmitted and have not heard back. I also had my mother passing and everything, and after I got over that, I resubmitted it. So I must have submitted it about 4 times. Did it get lost?
I don't have it.
Dee Dombrowski, honey.
Yes,
we are. Yeah, no, my Sticky Buns was asking me. It's Dee Dombrowski. D-E-E. You got it? Just send it to Go90Grow. She'll find it.
Okay, I will again.
She's got one on you. Thank you, and thank you for being patient. And by the way, whatever what you have written in there is magnificent. The little DMP portion that you read is spot on. So you've been outstanding at gleaning that information. Sorry that it got shuffled there. So she'll get that to you in the next 24 hours. Okay, you're up there, John.
Okay, my 2 PPNs are liberty and helping others. Probably helping others should be first and then liberty second. It's so gratifying when I realize that the secret to my freedom has been to serve others by helping others be successful. I gain tremendous amount of satisfaction by teaching others how to gain financial freedom and how to have better health. I'm ecstatic about the fact that my business has grown to become my sole source of income on or before December the 31st, 2017, and I'm thrilled beyond belief to have an income of $40,000 monthly. And I think the rest of it kind of goes around those few sentences.
Sure.
Right.
Okay.
Now here's the plan. I spent quite a bit of time during this week putting this together because I knew last week I couldn't raise my hand. So here it is. I've kind of divided up into two parts. First is the initial plan, and then the second part is the prospecting plan. The initial plan, number one, is to build a strong list, and then I've listed 3 ways to do that. You know, create a list of everybody you know, don't prejudge. There's some information we have in our company's educational information, so use that to kind of help figure out who they are. And the first to contact will be those that I've considered are the decision makers and are successful. Call on those first, and then call on the others later. The second thing is to strike interest, sort, and book the follow-up. And the part A to that is start with frame firelighters, get them talking about what they want more out of life and where they are currently. This is their gap. Will their current plan get them there, get where they want to be, or do they even have a plan? Number 3 is the suspect reviews information. A is if in the same town, meet in person for the 10-minute coffee. B is if they're out of town, take them through the process by phone and email or a webcast. And C, don't send too much information at one time. Give them a few exposures over a week or less. Number 4 is collect decisions. They'll either become a business owner, a preferred customer, or they'll give you a referral. Another possibility is the timing may not be right for them. In that case, tell them that you'll follow up with them 6 months and see if things have changed in their life. Okay, the second part is the prospecting plan. Is number 1 is weekly goals. A, I will contact by phone a minimum of 2 people per day. It can be new or a follow-up call. B is to send 20 emails weekly to LinkedIn contacts that I do not know, and my target is pharmaceuticals because that's the industry I'm in. C is utilize Craigslist by placing ads, call all responders within 24 hours. And D is talk to 5 people weekly as you come in contact with other people, you know, for example, anytime you're out in public or at work, retail, shopping. And then the last part of that is create oats weekly. A is the specific people that I will call. I will put 10 names on my list, and those people I will all talk to that week. B is to schedule the time that I'm going to make the phone calls, send emails, and then return calls generated from Craigslist. C is think about where I plan to be during the week that'll give me an opportunity to talk to 5 people. And D, always add some form of reading to improve my skills or to reinforce my positive mental attitude. And that's it.
What do you think, Dee?
Well, I think that was very detailed, don't you?
It's what you think. We want to know what you think.
I think it was very. I think it was clear. I think it was overreaching a little bit, in my opinion. I like to use the KISS method as far as keep it simple, sweetie. And I think he had some good goals as far as he said he was going to reach $40,000 by December 31st, 2017. I don't know wherein. Have you already started there on your business?
I have, but let's just say I'm still in the beginning stages.
Okay, that's where I got a little confused. I didn't know if you were just putting your toe in the water or fully immersing yourself. And I don't know if I could remember all that, but I think you did a thorough job. And it looks like you're got a plan and getting ready to go. So God bless you, and I wish you the best.
Okay, thank you.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, Kathy?
Well, I think it's very thoughtfully written, and it's certainly no doubt clear in John's head. Although I don't think it's clear. I don't think it's clear and clear enough for others. And so I think it just needs to be really tightened up and streamlined, especially regard to the main thing, which is talking to people. And I know you have your Craigslist stuff and stuff like that, but you said you were going to contact 2 people a day. But I think it should be more in terms of how many you're going to talk to and then how many you're going to try to bring to a step 2. I mean, specific, you have your contact number, but is it the talk to number or the other number? Those numbers should actually be bumped up. And whatever else you do with regard to sending emails or Craigslist or LinkedIn is fine. But it should really be, you should have specific numbers, higher numbers, like maybe talk to, 4 people a day and try to bring 1 or 2 to a step 2, or just something really clear. And just make it really simple and clear, so you can properly communicate it to others.
Gotcha. That's always been my problem, is to overanalyze, and so that's good feedback for me.
Yeah, I think one of the things, I think what you have is excellent. What I love is 2 numbers daily. Okay. Over here we talked about MDCs, minimum daily contacts, and dials and contacts, or reach outs and contacts. And I'm a big believer in just engaging in if you engage in the right behavior and you continue to improve. And by the way, you're one of the first, you're probably the second or third person, but one of the first that I can recall in recent memory that part of your plan was to continue to improve. I got to tell you, man, that is tremendous. It's tremendous. The people that make money are discover-it-alls, not the know-it-alls. And boy, have you guarded against complacency. Okay, you got to stay a student. Hell, I'm still learning. Gee, the class that was over here picked me up on some stuff. Kathy reamed me up one side and down the other about this thing that I say. Trish, who's on the staff, pulled me aside, and so did a few other people, over one little thing. And I was thrilled about it. It made me feel good that people are listening, not that they were listening to me, but it's about something personal with me, that they just didn't like the language that I was using about myself, and that was wonderful. And that you have that built in there is tremendous. But I agree with Kathy. I don't think, personally, I think that we could debate this around for a while and come up, and come up with a couple different ideas. But in essence, I love the 2-number thing, which is sort of in line with what Kathy's saying. In other words, I'm going to contact X amount of people, and I'm going to, get 2 people just to look, or I'm going to engage in, I'm going to make 20 reach outs and talk to 5 people. I'm going to make 10 reach outs and talk to 3 people. And then make sure that you hit or exceed both of those numbers. Does that make sense?
It does, because all of this stuff is great, but it gets down to how many people you're actually talking to. You're exactly right.
Right, and what I mean by the 2 numbers is that if you say 10 and 3, right, and you dial the phone 5 times, this is a guy like you is definitely going to get this right away. You dial the phone 5 times and you talk to 3 people, you're not done. I'm going to share something with you. We talked about this on the skills call one day. This will give you give anybody an insurmountable advantage, and it gave me an insurmountable advantage, and I didn't even know I was doing it. So I used to sell cutlery door to door. We had these box sets, and I stayed out until I sold out. And then when I started my own crew, my own business, I taught them the same thing. Don't come back to this hotel with anything in the trunk. Stay out till you sell out. Because if you end on a success, it gives you an insurmountable advantage over yourself the next day. So what you want to do with the numbers, let's say 10 and 3, we'll stay with those. If you call 5 people and you talk to 3 people, you're not done. You still owe me 5 calls. You still owe yourself 5 calls, as it were. Right. So you make those 5 calls, but the last call wasn't a yes. Keep dialing until you get a yes. So you might end up making 15 and 4. Or you might make 10 and you've talked to 2 people, and on the 10th call, that person says, yes, great, you're done, you finished on time. But if you hit both numbers and you end on a yes, there's no way that you don't make $40,000 a month. No way. It's that simple. And I think Dee had some good comments. So do you feel criticized here at all?
No, not at all, because I think I appreciate your comments on the last thing about improving, because I have to tell my little story. I'm probably the only one in multi-level marketing history that's actually been a part of my company for 4 years, but just didn't have the skills to talk to people. And it's about 6 months ago, I have listened to every one of your videos. I feel like you and I are buddies, and I had the opportunity in Atlanta back in February to walk up and introduce myself when you were in Atlanta, and I didn't do it. So if I ever get that opportunity again, I'm going to do it.
All right, all right. I'll go to Orlando. I'll go to Orlando.
All right, perfect. I'll be
Well,
there.
I promised my wife for like 11 years that I'd take her to Burn's Steakhouse, which is in Tampa.
It
So we're
is.
planning, yeah, but see, I got a little plan too. The last of my three dogs died, my champion English setters, and the woman that gives them to me, they're $3,000 and $4,000 dogs, but she gives them to me for 150 bucks because she loves me, and I've manifested that for myself, and she wants them to go to a good home. So I'm really kind of pretending to bring my wife to Burn's Steakhouse, which I will. I'm probably accidentally going to pick up a dog onto Orlando, see you guys, and then well, I know I got Kathy Zimmer rooting for me, and I don't think you want to cross her. But basically, and then we're gonna go on to St. Augustine and see the kids. We're probably gonna buy a Jeep in Florida. This is one of the plans that we'll be deciding this weekend, and then take a month to drive back across country. So if we don't catch you there, we'll catch a lot of you on the way back. We want to see America. One last run through it. I've seen a lot of them by flying into big cities and doing seminars, but occasionally I got and stayed places for a week, and it's just such a beautiful country. And so that's kind of what we're thinking about doing, and then shipping and driving back to San Francisco and shipping the thing over here. So we'll catch you someplace, John.
Great.
So
That's perfect.
yeah, okay, thanks, man. Thanks for your kind words. Let me see. I think we lost D. I think she's offline. A, B, C, D. Uh, yeah. Okay. Let's see if we can get her. Hi, D. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine.
Good, good. Now, did you feel supported or criticized?
Oh, I felt very supported and excited, and I am like the gentleman there. I am reading Hard Habits Are Hard to Break and The Slight Edge. I want to learn everything I can as far as multi-level marketing, because this is not my forte. I was a corporate meeting planner, so I'm excited, and I did not feel criticized in the least.
Good, good. Well, the main thing is that you made some really nice contributions to John, vice versa. And folks, this is how masterminds work. This is how they work. You guys did a great job. Thanks. So let's drop those hands. Let's see what else we got going on here. Uh, okay. I got Mark Layton. Hey, Marky, how you feeling? Any better?
I am feeling fantastic.
Great, great. Okay, we gotta find a partner for you, and it looks like we got Josephine. Hey, Josephine, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, fantastic. Now, where do you live, Josephine?
I live on Long Island.
Oh, really?
Long Island.
What a
A
small world.
neighbor. A neighbor.
Mark Layton's from there, so you guys will have a conversation that nobody will understand. Okay, so you guys ready to go? Now, just remember what we're doing here is we're not going through the whole DMP thing, just so we can expedite this. It's assumed that that's well done, but just your PPNs, a couple of feelings that it's going to give you, and what you want to accomplish. So the little example here, I'll go again, is legacy and true health. It's going to yield for me peace of mind, joy, and a compound that my family will live in. I'm going to be P90X ripped by 42514, and earning $600,000 three times a year before 12. 2515 perceived obstacles. So if you know what your perceived obstacles are, lay them out and what your plan is to get around them. So we'll go age before beauty. So Mark, why don't you start first?
What a pal. Anyway, my PPNs are liberty and autonomy, and I'm going to create a living legacy by reaching the income level of $25,000 a month by June 5th, 2015. It's going to allow me to be financially free, peace of mind for myself and my family, and the freedom to travel wherever we want and whenever we want. And one of my drawbacks is I sometimes procrastinate, but that's why I didn't have my plan of action last week, but I have it now. Okay, so here goes. My plan of action is to make 12 presentations per week, 50 weeks a year, until my current DMP is achieved. So I'm going to spend 15 to 20 hours a week reaching people, and by eliminating TV and other trivial time wasters, which I've already done. Point 2, form a mastermind alliance with like-minded associates to review and tweak achievement plans on a weekly basis, minimally, more often if necessary. 3, use the OATS system weekly on Fridays to plan for the following week and inventory the prior week's activities. 4, maintain a predominant focus on the main thing, which is recruiting. 5, teach DEFT and OATS to all my new team members so they can organize their time effectively. 6, teach team members frame firelighters so they can build rapport quickly with those they speak to. And 7, continue to review and apply both Think and Grow Rich principles and Go90Grow skills for maximum productivity and connectivity to the universal intelligence.
Nice. I think it's.
Go ahead. Give him some feedback.
I think it's clear. I feel like it's something. It's the way I write as well. I don't get very, very detailed, and maybe that's a problem. But I respond to how you wrote it, and I think that you've hit many points from some that I like for myself, including that you wrote about the mastermind. I feel like you hit on every point. So, you know, I feel like maybe Kathy's going to say that it's not specific enough, but again, I understand it very well. I liked it.
Thank you. I don't write easily. I don't write on command. It has to, Mark, you could appreciate this. It has to like sit in my subconscious for a while, and then when it's ready to come out, it doesn't stop.
Yeah. And what a lot of us do, and I'll give you, would you grab my wallet for me, honey? I'll give you an example in a few more minutes, folks. But I have a longer detailed plan of action, but I got it reduced down, and it's on the other side of the movie trailer version. So I could read that to you, Josephine, and you know, Kathy might say it's not really specific, but that's the one that triggers it for me of what I'm doing daily and have a little bit more specific plan. What I'm interested in, thanks, sweetheart. What I'm interested in, Mark, is do you see any do you have any obstacles that you perceive that you're going to overcome, or you're good across the board?
No. I always have to remind myself to do it now, and okay. I do that. The blessing that's come out of all of this is I think it's helping me with persistence, because I find this whole process addictive, and if I'm not in it,
yeah,
I need it. And it's changed my way of thinking and looking at the world, the entire world outside of my MLM. Everything is just like, in the last 2 weeks especially, it's just transformed. I mean, stuff that used to get under my skin, I laugh at now. Yeah. And so, but, you know, I've had some fears of, you know, because I was ill a couple of times in the past 3 years, but beyond that now. So every once in a while, that little nagging thing sneaks in, but I have just found a way to switch my thoughts.
Yeah. Well, what I would, you know, do you have any thoughts, Kathy?
Just one. It was very good, Mark. I liked it too. It was very good. You hit some points that other people didn't have in theirs, especially the part about oats. You have down oats, and then you also have the second, you know, equally as important part about taking inventory. So that's just key. So you have some great points. The only question I wanted to ask you is, you said you were going to spend 15 to 20 hours a week reaching out to people, and you know your goal was 12 presentations a week. So my question is, how are you going to reach out to people? That has to be probably nailed down better.
Yeah. Either through telephone or personal. Well, I speak to everybody when I'm out in the street, and I'm always testing people with frame firelighters, but a minimum of 15 and 3 on the telephone every day.
Because I think it's a great idea to have three different ways that you're going to reach out to people, and just get really good at those 3 ways, like frame firelighters, most people skills, segue into the 1-minute presentation or 10-minute coffee, or make dials off your warm list. Just have 3 ways that you will commit to being good at, and then when you have things like reaching out to people, then you have these 3 ways that you're working on, and then you can convey that to others. So but it was you have a great written plan of action. It's really good.
Well, I thought about it long and hard, because it had to be consistent, with just the way I think, and it's all coming together. 3 ways of reaching out. Okay, I'll define that.
Yeah. The other thing that I'd suggest is that one of the things that I think. What are you doing? Can we take this off? No. One of the things that I'd suggest is that the freewheeling type of recruiting that guys like you and I can do, and we don't really keep track. I don't think you're a big inventory guy. I think you keep track of the nuts and the fruit, but maybe not our own personal habits. And then you're saying, so you have to kind of remind yourself. I might put in there in your plan of action, I affirm, do it now 25 times a day. That, rather than attach yourself to the possibility of procrastination, to me, that's a big obstacle for us in network marketing when this is part-time. Until you got full-time, until you got 1.5 times your income of your regular occupation or business, you really can't think about leaving, because you have to self-insure and all that. So you need 1.5 times the money to even consider bouncing. And the fatigue, weather, moods, whatever, I found that was a big part for me, Mark, and affirming do it now is a big thing. So what you're seeing here, folks, is some math. Does that make sense to you?
Totally. I just want to let you know of one other thing that I've done on the front door before I leave the house, on the dashboard of the car, and on the shaving mirror. I have printed out and posted, "Do not commit the sin of the desert."
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love that. So basically, what happens now in a mastermind is you have Kathy, you have Josephine, and you have myself, all helping Mark. Do you feel criticized or supported here?
I feel like there's wind beneath my wings.
Yeah.
It's great.
And folks, this is what should happen in your mastermind. So, okay, Josephine, you're in the box. On you.
Okay. My PPNs are liberty and freedom for creative expression. And I have been refining and tweaking every day my DMP. And after hearing everyone, I still feel like it's not specific enough, but here goes. I earn $50,000 to $70,000 a month on or before 4/15/15, and it is the most incredible feeling of joy, peace, satisfaction. I am part of the Jubilee group that AJ started with Kivana. I am one of AJ's multimillionaires. I am committed to the Diamond Leadership Club. I work my business and share the business tools and up team leaders with 5 semi-qualified prospects a week. I grow my team by 2 new personally sponsored IBOs a month and help my team do the same. I speak with 20 to 25 people a week and help my team collect decisions. I am a master prospector, and I find the most enthusiastic, contagious, positive, professional people who love life and want to go to the top of Kivana with me. I am an amazing listener who qualifies people right away. Every day I work on my people skills by listening, learning, and teaming with people. I am so grateful and blessed to be part of this team. The amazing thing is that I get to also create millionaires. I have started a book filled with people's DPNs, and together we're changing the world. That's it. I mean, it goes on and on. I have 3 pages, so, but I'm not going to read 3 pages.
Right. So Mark, give her some, is that your plan?
That includes my plan, so
Right.
it's kind of.
I think Josephine has a DMP. She certainly has read it, with enthusiasm. It's heartfelt. It's sincere. I know she wants to help the people. I think, Josephine, what could make it better and stronger for you is I think you've blended the DMP with your plan of action, and if you could separate the two of them a little bit, so you have the goals on, which is really the DMP on one set of writing, and the implementation separately, so that you can look at them side by side instead of like going back and forth as you seem, or just hit one and then hit the other within the same writing. It
Yes.
might be more. It might enforce it better for you.
Yes, I can hear that from the way you wrote it and the others. There's a definite plan, and I've kind of mixed it all in, but I do like that.
I mean, there's a lot of great elements in there, but I think separate, every element's great, but if you separate them out for yourself a little bit between the action steps and the end result, I think you're going to find it easier to work with.
Yes, thank you very much.
What are your thoughts, Kathy?
Well, I agree with Mark. I wasn't sure where the DMP stopped and the written plan of action began, but just a couple things. Just as far as, like Mark said, he likes to see the 2 numbers. So you have that you're going to talk to 20 to 25 people a week, and help your team collect decisions. So it would be good just to kind of refine that a little bit more and just put down how many people you're going to talk to and how many people you're going to attempt to collect decisions from, just to have a target for your subconscious mind. What your subby thrives on targets, and also just to nail down a little bit better about where you're going to get those people from. Okay, so just to really clarify that, but you have some very good points in there. So it was good, Josephine.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think it's good too, and I think it's okay. I actually do it myself to have some of your plan of action inside the definite major purpose, but if you were to show that to someone on your team, they don't really care about your definite major purpose until they know how much you care about them. And you want to just lay out a plan. So when you run into people that are working, if you're going to work the business 10 hours a week, right, which I also like as part of the plan, the time commitment, I like that to be specific. And I never say 20 to 25. What I say is 20. And, and when I can go the extra mile and get in 23 or 24, that's fine. But 25 hours this week doesn't mean I owe myself 15 next week. It means I owe myself 20 again. 10 and 3, that I talked to 11 people one day because I was white hot and catching everybody on the phone. That doesn't cancel out the next 3 days. It's what am I doing on a daily basis? Now, JE put in here, has anybody actually stopped to figure out how much dollar volume has to be sold to reach these goals? If you don't know how much has to be sold, how can you know how many customers it takes and so forth? And some people want to get that specific, and I think that that's tremendous. I know what the normal attrition is going to be with a company. I know what the normal attrition is usually on my groups is usually lower than the average attrition, and the production is usually higher out of the people. So I have a track record. But if you don't, use company numbers, and that's a great point, JE, to do that. But just to share with you that I think you're so close here with what you put out. I think it's really important, Josephine, that you don't feel that it's wrong to put that in there. So I'm going to read you a little bit out of my movie trailer version, okay? It says here, giving up TV and fantasy baseball. Hold on a minute. Let me get my glasses on here. Okay. Giving up TV time, fantasy baseball time, and unhealthy choices physically and mentally is easy, a no-brainer. I eat 70% raw organic and drink 120 ounces of water daily and do P90X every day. Being in world-class condition before 4:25:14, I feel invigorated, energized, and thrilled to have the energy to exceed my potential. I render world-class service to my family, my friends, my customers, and myself. I am awash with gratitude. So let me just turn this over now. And I have the bigger plan of action reduced down to about 8 simple sentences. I read the Blueprint Builder, DMP, and POA 3 times a day with enthusiasm. I drink 120 ounces of water every day and do P90X daily. I meditate for 30 minutes daily, reading Think and Grow Rich and the Master Key System and Scripture. I do my best, always improving. I read the Man in the Glass 2 times a day. I make healthy choices 24/7, 70% raw. And there you see, it's in the specific plan of action. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I'm totally on board with you also building it in there as long as it's in the present tense. I make a gratitude list every day of at least 10 things. I believe we are what we think about. I think constructively 100% of the time. I build a responsive list of 30,000 people in 20 minutes daily. I talk to 3 people every day about my business. So that sort of is a reduced version too, which a lot of you that have the movie trailer version, you either have the PPNs on the other side of the cards. You can pull out a quickie, or you can put a condensed version. And you'll notice in all those sentences, it never says I will. I read the Blueprint Builder. I drink 120 ounces of water and do P90X. I meditate for 30 minutes daily. And of course, on the top and bottom is I always keep my promises and do it now 50 times a day. So I just walk around saying, do it now, do it now, do it now, do it now. My wife says eventually the socks may get off the the bedroom floor. But do you feel supported, Josephine?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So folks, what you're witnessing here, and yourself, Mark, yes?
Yes, absolutely. And it was a pleasure to work with another Long Islander.
Long Islander.
L-A-W-N-G-U-Y land.
Now, here's the thing, folks. What should happen is pretty much this. Nobody feels criticized. We're trying to help people do a little bit better and develop a definitive plan of action for them. That's the key. So work with the community. Grab somebody in the community. Get on the phone with them and tell them, yo, I want to go back and forth with you. So, it's perfectly okay. You know the rule here, no recruiting. It's a comfort-free zone, and grab someone in the community. We'll do a few more each week, but you're starting to get the general idea. That's what a mastermind meeting looks like. When you get together, do plans of action, go around the table, people say suggestions, they bring their pen and paper, they write them out. I love converting the DMP. The movie trailer version on the other side is a written plan of action. So when I pull it out, sometimes I'm reading the DMP, the movie trailer version, and sometimes I'm reading the plan of action. And what that does for you is it connects the behavior to the dream. Okay? We're talking about making a lot of money. That's the main thing, folks. And that requires some consistent effort. Okay. Let me see if I can find Josephine. There she is. Oh, thanks, honey. Okay, so the law of growth, there was just a beautiful thing about the law of growth. Someone was, I apologize, I can't remember her name, but it was just great that she gets it. So we'll knock the hands down. Is anybody using this that would like to share what's happening with themselves around actually seeing the law of growth in play in their life? Okay. Whoops. Okay. Hi, Josephine. Was that you that was writing about that?
I'm not sure. What about the law of growth?
Yeah, about this little checklist. Have you been doing this thing and identifying a different
Well,
word weekly?
um, no, but I've been searching for courage, mainly. So, but I haven't done this one.
Okay. So you build this little spreadsheet and you look for courage. See a TV show with, you see the news and there was a fireman there, that's courage. You just see it everywhere and everyone and everything. You saw
Hmm.
my cat, hesitating and then jumped off the back of the couch. Right? That's courage. I could see that. And hesitant. And boom, follow through. You see it everywhere. You see kids getting a batter's box at a little league game, and you see their feet moving around. They're literally urinating in their pants. They might get hit. And that's courage. It's everywhere and everyone and everything. So stay with it. I wish that I could remember who that was. Folks, you got to exercise the law of growth. You give yourself the evidence of this thing and it'll scare the living bejesus out of you and at the same time make you incredibly successful. Okay, so what this is about is educing virtue out of yourself. If you're not using this, then you're missing the biggest part of this thing because that's the secret that Hill talks about on every page, is you already have this inside you. Okay, so it's really a requirement to be successful. Build that spreadsheet and comment in the successes about it because there really is a method behind the madness. The world without is a perfect reflection of the world within. So the thoughts that we hold within and start to identify courage, organization, whatever, you see them everywhere, everyone, and everything. Actions we take determine results. Actions are a result or a byproduct of thoughts and feelings they triggered. It's really that simple. That created a blueprint. Thoughts that fire together tend to what? Wire together. This creates habit in our thoughts, which creates our actions. So the action habits we have are really a byproduct of the thought habit that we have. We are all a slave to habit. So for goodness sake, understand that you can't get rid of a bad habit. You can't break a bad habit. It doesn't work. You know something most people will never ever discover. What you do is you create the opposite habit without thinking about the bad habit. See, only a habit can replace a habit. So instead of thinking, I'm not going to do this anymore, I'm not going to do that anymore, or whatever, I don't know why, don't even worry about that. Just focus on the virtue that you want. See it everywhere and everyone and everything. This is what actually creates the new blueprint. We can't stop doing something. We can't break a bad habit. We can replace the habit. If we try to break a bad habit, we're what? Fastening ourselves in thought to the culprit. And guess what? The law of growth works, which is why you've got to get into those virtues off that leadership list from the test you took a few weeks ago or the evaluation you gave yourself, okay? The method behind the madness revealed, the drill, reading, sitting, thinking, moving trailer, guy in the gallon of glass, workbook, law of success, law of growth, virtues, the blueprint builder, okay, are constant interruptions to what? The old blueprint. They are new habits. Dig in. Don't do what most people do. They get scared at this point and they're in such denial about being scared that they can take control of their mind and that will take control of their life. They don't follow through. Now let's not worry about that. Let's just worry about following through. This is why building the burning desire is so important. These things that we've given you and that you have acted out on are constant interruptions to the old blueprint, and you keep interrupting until the new thoughts around your definite major purpose wire together. That's one of the reasons I have a plan on the back of my movie trailer version. It's one of the things that we'll teach you how to do in the Master Key course, and we'll show you how to create between 100 and 200 what we call PTs, or psychological triggers, where all day long that thought, those new thoughts are being triggered effortlessly in the whole world around you. We're going to show you how with zero effort, literally, to supply yourself with an onslaught, a literal armada of reinforcements of the new thoughts, the new habits. So dig in right now and prepare yourself for that course, okay? So keep interrupting. How long do you keep interrupting? This is the method behind our madness until the new blueprint refuses to be interrupted. Bam! There it is, okay? Okay, until you've got the single eye focus. Who's that guy, honey? On the screen. Is that Sully? Mike Wazowski had to be a Polak like me. Okay. This will give you dominion. It says in the very first chapter of the very first book, right? And you'll have dominion over all you see. What does that mean? In your mind. You have dominion over all you see. Why do you have dominion over all you see? Scripture's either right, it's either true, or it's not true. And it is true because you have dominion over what? Your thoughts. Okay? These are traps. The time of the year, the old blueprint, old triggers, you know, things, things getting better. This is the biggest trap of all. They get better, and as they do, we drift away from the drill. We don't realize how terrified we are to be going on in our life without the weight problem or the relationship problem or the money problem. Who will I be? This has become part of my identity. You know, people talk about my rheumatism, my arthritis. They've mentally taken possession of it. It's become part of who they are. And struggling with money and struggling with time, which leads to struggling in relationships. Oh my gosh, who will I be if I don't have those things? Do we think that consciously? No. We self-destruct by drifting away from the basics. You don't have to worry about that. Get a single eye focus on your definite major purpose. Ramp up until the new blueprint refuses to be interrupted by the old blueprint. Not because it refuses, it's just too damn busy. Fear not. The thing that I played at the beginning by Deepak Chopra is really simple, folks. Okay? The world needs your gifts. You need to claim your gifts. You need to claim that power so your gifts shine. The master teacher said you are the light of the world. He did not say, when you do this, this, and this, you will be the light of the world. You are now. And all you have to do is let go. Okay? All you have to do is let go of the cement Buddha. All you have to do is let go of those little problems that we all repeat in our lives so that we don't have to get on with the business of living a life second to none. So you shouldn't worry. Just concentrate and use the law of substitution, because in the land of the blind, it's really true, a one-eyed man is king. And there's a blind world out there. They're following they're aiming at mediocrity. 95% of them don't know that the law of growth is infallible. And that's why you need to work that spreadsheet. You need to prove this to yourself. And there are people doing it. I should have clipped those out. But anyway, I'm not going to should myself. We are really, folks, what we think about all day long. Not what you think once in a while for the 15 minutes or while you're reading your definite major purpose or when you're in church or when you've just had a nice experience with your family. But the predominant mental attitude is what counts. If a sculptor started out with a piece of marble and a chisel and changed his ideal every 15 minutes, what could you expect? Who knows? And why should you expect any different result in molding the greatest and most plastic of all substances, the only real substance, and that's the connection between the energy or force or power or creator and your subconscious mind. You can shape that. You can co-create a reality that's second to none. Okay? And the way you do it is with consistency. The idea, you see this at network marketing meetings all the time, like it's some revolutionary thought. Conceive it, believe it, and you'll achieve it. Folks, there's nothing to even think about with that thing because it's a reality. I promise you, less than 5% of the people on the planet know what you know right now. Because the idea of conceive, believe, achieve has always been true. It's not an idea. We talked about, or I talked about Disraeli at the very beginning of this course. that circumstances are the creatures of men. Men are not the creatures of circumstances. What does that mean? It means the thoughts that we've held in our life, that is conceived, we've what? Believed because we've attached a feeling to it, and they've manifested or we've achieved them. Even a negative result is an achievement because it fits into what? The law of growth. Folks, this is profound stuff, okay? And you're on the cusp of greatness. All greatness is forget about what the world, forget about it. Forget about what the world tells you is great. Great is nothing more than realizing, finding yourself, realizing what your gifts are, and just constantly letting them shine and give them away with humility. That's all it really is, okay? Every condition in my life, in your life, in Josephine's life, Marky Layton's life, Kathy Zimmer's life, is a result of the infallible law of growth, which means conceive, believe, achieve is no revolutionary idea. It's been true since the beginning of time. Okay? Think bad things are gonna happen to you? Bad things happen to you. Guess what? Guess what? You've conceived it, you've believed it, and you achieved it. Okay? See, the law doesn't care. That's back to the field, right? You can plant nightshade or corn. The field doesn't care. It's really always been up to you and what you choose to focus on, which is why I talk about this one-eyed king all the time. Keep educing your power. What power is that? The only power that really matters. You have the power to control your thoughts, which means you have the ability to influence your subconscious mind. The best way to do that is to really understand that knowledge does not apply itself. You can understand this, but it doesn't make any difference if you're not focused on a virtue that you want to develop this weekend. Prove that you'll see it more and more often. And the more often you see it, the more it becomes a part of you. And because you're thinking about courage all the time, guess what? You're not thinking about fear. Hello. So let's bind this all together. Okay. You've got to have, right, DMP, plan of action, persistence, right, is really driven by a mastermind alliance, because a DMP without a plan is indecision, which is sort of a decision in itself. But the problem with that is it's really the sole source of the challenge that we all face with our self-esteem. The decision to follow through, not simply follow up. A written plan examined by a mastermind alliance that's been and then rewritten or written down again, okay? There's a myth out there, and you hear it in network marketing and a lot of direct sales companies. There's the fortunes in the follow-up. It's not true, okay? The fortune's in the follow-through. You set an appointment with Harry, okay, and you show up and Harry shows up. Yeah, you followed up, but you're there to collect a decision. That's the action part. No written plan, there can't be a follow through. So decide and get Mastermind Alliance help. Reach out to some people. This is what we've been telling you. If you're in the community all the time and you're commenting and complimenting people, you're not going to have any problem having somebody help you. So get with them, okay? And get ready for the next week's call, because we'll do the same thing all over again. So everybody wants to know what Mark and Davine did. Okay, well, number one, this is really important as a plan of action for you. It's an additional little plan, and this has changed a lot of people's lives, and I'm seeing this go on with a group that I got very fond of. They're Go90Grow members, and I got very fond of them. So what did we do, myself and Davine, to break away from the mediocrity on the planet and the mediocrity in network marketing? Simple. Number one, we abandoned all versions of all MLM versions of a mastermind. I mean, come on, folks, let's face it. When you read that chapter over, you know that most of them are a waste of time, and the rest of them are even worse. They're just. I mean, do I really need to listen to a call once a week about people that are telling me I'm in a good business? What are you, high? You're either on drugs or you need to be if you think that that's going to drive your business. Super high. You know, Mrs. Fields, Davine and I used to have an expression, Mrs. Fields is not a network marketing business. And they'd say, what do you mean? We're not with Mrs. Fields. We're with Market America, with NBC or whatever. And I'd say, no, you don't understand. If you're on conference calls every week and people are talking about how good things are and they're calling it a mastermind, it's a cookie club. It won't make you any money. So we abandoned all versions of masterminds and conference calls and called all hands on deck for the main thing. 2, we studied the Mastermind Alliance principle, created a statement for our Mastermind Alliance. We executed precisely this principle. Because remember, you're not going to make it without persistence, and one of the 4 components, little habits of persistence, is a mastermind. The third thing that we did was set up a laser call at 7 a.m. before the enemy digs in, before the media and the plumber and all that stuff. And everybody hopped on the call. They'd share 3 gratitudes, what activities they were going to do that day. So we'd say, let's say with James or John, who shared earlier, he might say 10 and 3. I'm grateful for coffee, a shower, and a warm place to live today. 3 different things every day, okay? Now, I did this with 5 to 6 people, okay, for 5 minutes. The reason 5 to 6 is this one girl, it was 4 o'clock in the morning for her in Las Vegas. So she made it most of the time. She actually set her alarm for 3:50, get up and get on the phone, and then go back to bed. But eventually I set up one on the east and one on the west. I want to see if Dr. Ron is on here. Yeah, he's not here. Okay. So this kind of created a little mini mastermind every day, and it'd be done in 5 minutes. I'm grateful for Tommy, my English setter. I'm grateful, for this. I'm grateful for that. 3 quick gratitudes, right? Food, shelter, clothing. Boom. Can't use them again. Can't use them for a week. Okay, so you're really getting in a state of gratitude. Gratitude is a cause. It's not an effect. I'm gonna make at least $15 today. I'm gonna talk to at least 5 people. Okay. Yesterday I committed to 10 and 3. I made 14 and 4. That's it. On to the next person. No discussing, no kibitzing anything, folks. This is a massive strategy, massively powerful strategy. This works before the enemy digs in. So here you go. Whoops. Mastermind Alliance, you have to live here. You've got to live in a mastermind. You have one already with the guy in the gallon of glass. So read 27, do the workbook pages 25 and 6, view the video 10, and continue with the drill. Continue. If you haven't started, start. Use the law of growth. Leverage that spreadsheet. Okay. Write down a virtue you need to develop, the one you think you need to develop the most. Don't worry about the bad habit. Look at the bad habit. Look at the virtue that would replace it. Remember, only a habit can replace a habit. And develop the habit of identifying it everywhere and everyone and everything, because you couldn't see it if it wasn't in you. And since it's in you, all you got to do is educe it out of you, because you simply can't teach what you don't know. And you have to have this firsthand evidence of the law of growth. Once you do, you'll get goosebumps. It'll terrify you, and it'll be exciting at the same time, because you'll know that you know that you know how full of baloney I've been, you've been, and everybody else has been, that have blamed people, places, and things for a lot in life, and that you have total control over, and it's holy crap. Now that I know that I can have whatever I want, if it's good for me and doesn't take anybody else's good, I know that the divine will intercede at the right times. Everything will show up, because once I create a demand in my subconscious mind, the supply will show up. That's what the subconscious will do for me. Okay, so read and explore a mastermind alliance. When you win with a mastermind alliance, you lose without one. Okay, so you got to have that. So we'll open this up for a little while for some questions. If anybody has anything, we can help them with. Okay. Yeah, John, if we go on the Jeep tour, we want to come up through Steamboat Springs and get over into Wyoming. It's the only state I haven't been to. Yeah, Anna Ray, it's really cool things. Great comment in there, folks. You need to go in and read what's happening with her. It's spectacular. Maybe, I don't know if I'm still in there. Let me see if I am. I don't think so. No. I don't want to drag you through all that. Okay. All right. So, looks like we tore it up today. Everybody's good. Anybody got any questions we can help them with? Great point by JE. Remember, if you have that kind of mind and you're kind of baffled by this stuff, what you need to do is what you need to do for a lot of us, it really helps, and I think it's a great point JE made. He says, has anybody actually stopped to figure out how much dollar volume has to be sold to reach these goals? Okay. I knew for me to make what I wanted to make, I'll give you a simple example, JE with me. I knew the income level I wanted to get to. I knew with the quarterly bonus that it would push us into the 20, 25, somewhere between 18 and 25,000. And I wanted to make it in less than 12 hours a week. So I knew I needed to do 300,000 in volume. So I knew about what the attrition would be in my group. So I knew that I had to get to 10,000 distributors. So it's easy to break it down. And I think if you have that kind of mind and need to look at it, it helps you it helps you get realistic about the amount of time it's going to take to hit your SMART goals. Great point. Great point. Okay. Yeah, man, we want to see those arches. Is there a cheat sheet for the law of growth? No, it's in what you do to create this. You're talking about creating this thing. Let's see if I can get. We got another Maki on here. Hi, Mark.
What up?
What up, Dogette? Hey, what do you mean? Is there a cheat sheet for the
Yeah, I
law
mean,
of growth?
like in the news you can use or something, is there something that's like a template or something, or just
You
try
mean
to...
like this thing right here?
Yeah, yeah.
Just draw it out on a piece of paper. It's pretty
And
simple.
then the traits that we want to put are what we feel our weaknesses are, and then we
Well,
try to look for those, and then that will help us build strength in those areas.
yeah, what you want to do, it's a great question. I'm glad you brought it up. But what you want to do is in the workbook, okay, in the workbook on page 18, right, there's 11. It says, for each of the following important factors of leadership, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5, indicating the greatest need for improvement. So 1 is courage, 2 is self-control, 3 is a sense of justice, 4 is definiteness of decision, 5 is definiteness of plans, 6 is habit of doing more than being paid for, pleasing personality, whatever. So what you do is you go and you evaluate yourself that way in the workbook, and then look at the one that you need. Look at what's always obvious is the one that you're probably really pretty good at now, and the one that you probably need the most improvement at. So you take the one that you need the most improvement at, reduce it to one word, and put it in the top spot, right? So you're going to make a list of the 11, and don't like spend an hour trying to figure out, well, this is 4, but if I make that 4, that would make this 5. This is really 3. Don't worry about the ones in the middle. Just write them down. Just do it now. Okay, it should take you 2 minutes, right? The 1 or 2 that you really need, like for me, one of the things that it says here, 9 is mastery of detail, right? So I just put detail down because I'm very organized in thought and very disorganized physically, right? Notes and things, I get a note, I write it down over here, I get this thing on voicemail. So I started to notice organization everywhere. And then somebody said, yeah, it was in Starbucks. Man, are they organized? So I went to Starbucks and I sat there for, I don't know, I think 15 minutes. And it's amazing what a symphony of organization is. The customers are organized. These people are pouring in. They march in a little line, and it's like, holy crap. So I started to see detail, attention to detail everywhere and everyone and everything. And then I got better at it. And that's all. You don't have to worry about it. Just have to identify it. So for a lot of people, it's courage, okay, responsibility, cooperation, whatever. Now, if there's one not on here that you got a really sort of a challenging habit that you'd like to eliminate, like I said, don't try to eliminate the habit. Just find the virtue that's the opposite of it and focus on that, because you couldn't see it in anybody else if it wasn't already in you. And this is what educe means, is to draw out. It actually comes from the Latin educo, And to induce means to draw out latent potential uh, or traits. And so that's all you really do. And when you see, as the week goes by, if you focus, you will see that the check marks each day get a little bigger. And what starts to happen is that virtue starts to appear in you. And all of a sudden, the bad habit just isn't there anymore. It's really cool. Does that help you?
Yeah, absolutely. And then one quickie on last week's assignment, you mentioned something about taking another test, but I didn't see a test in the
Be in the
workbooks.
workbook. Yeah. Was last week was what? Decision? Right? Was decision last week? Yeah, there's a little decision test, 5 little things on page 22. Maybe that was it.
Okay,
Sometimes
and
they
then
say, go ahead.
And then what's your shoe size? I want to send you a pair of giraffe boots.
It really depends because they got really high arches, man. But 12, 13, sometimes 11, like sneaker. What's my shoe size, honey? Yeah, 11 and a half. Depends if they're narrow in the front. Sometimes I have a hard time with my arch, but I'm in, dude. That would be awesome. Are you the
All
guy
right.
I met? Are you the guy from Vegas, the entertainer?
Yeah, I mentioned Atlanta.
Yeah, I looked those up online. They didn't have my size. You gave me that site. That my size wasn't available. I love those freaking things. I've been talking about them for a month. I found a giraffe chair that I'm buying in June, but and the people that came over here, Mark, they were like, a couple of them came up to my house. We had a few the staff over for dinner, and there's just giraffe stuff everywhere, man, because it's a philosophy, dude, and you get that. And man, I so appreciate you thinking of me. Thank you, dude.
All right, my
Awesome.
pleasure. Thanks.
All right, peace. Yeah, we'll be out in Vegas soon. That's for sure. Okay, that was cool. Happy Memorial Day. Yep, honor my dad. My dad was killed in Korea. He served in World War II and flew 171 missions off the USS Shangri-La, and then was recalled in Korea and was killed on the 47th out of 50 missions. And what was really cool was I ended up with these two incredible uncles and a brother that was 10 years older than me, and had this sort of incredible amalgam. But my dad, when he was stationed here in Kauai, and I normally wouldn't talk about, he was stationed in Oahu. They have a training base for Marine pilots, Navy pilots, and so that was Kaneohe. And when he was here, he never saw my mother again. But when he was here, he wrote her and said, "Change in plan. We're moving to Hawaii." So his picture's up on the wall. My mother's picture's up on the wall. And it's kind of ironic how all that worked out. So thanks for reminding us, everybody, that it was That's Memorial Day. What I have observed working for me is a lot. A lot is the word enjoy in my auto suggestion. Let me see if I can get Constantina here. This might be my little Greek buddy, I think. She's awesome. Hey, Constantina, how are you?
Hi, Mark. I'm fine.
You're my little Greek buddy, right?
Yes, I
You're in
am.
Greece, yeah. So, tell us what's been working for you. You said, I have observed working for
Yeah,
me.
when I wrote my auto suggestions,
Yeah.
I wrote 5, and the one was without this word. I enjoy electronic cigarette and only that, blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
this one worked 100%,
Yeah.
no, 200%. It came effortlessly. So
Right.
then I changed the others
Mm-hmm.
because some of the others didn't seem to be working.
Mm-hmm.
And then I changed all of them and put in the word enjoy.
Mm.
What I observed is when I auto-suggest to myself that I enjoy doing something,
Right.
it happens simultaneously without even thinking about it. and it's
Right, and not
exciting.
yeah, and not only that, I hope I'm so glad most of you stayed on this call. My eyes are welled up with tears right now. Do you know how profound uh see what you I'm like, okay, I'm speechless. I got to regroup here. Look at, do you see what happened here, folks? This is what she did. She found one that worked, looked at why it worked, and rather than dwell on the ones that didn't, she was what? Thinking. And she's grown rich. How has she grown rich? Because she took this one word, and because a new blueprint believes when she puts enjoy in there, it's going to happen. It happens simultaneously and effortlessly. This was incredible. It's incredible. The Greeks invented everything. That's just the way it is, right? It's awesome. It's fantastic. It is fantastic. Do you get that? See, her new blueprint believes that if she writes it down and puts the word enjoy, that it's going to happen simultaneously, and it does, right?
Yes, it's
You got a
amazing.
new blueprint. You're awesome. You owe me some feta cheese.
Okay, okay.
Thank you so much. That's fantastic. 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 Brilliant. Brilliant. Greeks, man, I'm telling you, they're at the bottom of all of it. Okay. Oh, this is awesome. Wendy says she's got a guy at a dealership, honey, in Florida that we can get a car at cost. Yeah. Or you get it picked up in Florida. That'd be a cool trip. Okay. What about when the DMP takes over for the NM objective? I don't know what she means. We'll find out. Okay. Cheers. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, darling?
I'm doing good, Lovey.
Lovely, lovely, darling,
Lovey, darling. So
lovely,
I, I,
darling.
I didn't really understand your question here.
Okay, well, all I'm talking about is that um, when the DMP starts to run away with itself and starts to, what am I saying, Mark? What I'm saying is, um, DMP has started to generate itself,
Yep,
yeah,
yep,
and created a lot of energy in its own and started to create uh,
yeah,
connections and all sorts of things happening. And it seems to me that it could almost take over from my original objective of getting my network marketing thing going. You know what I'm
hmm
saying?
yeah,
So it was almost like the bigger plan
yep,
is so eager to get going. And when I was listening to John and Dee earlier, all I was hearing was root and heart. I mean, John has got so much root energy, and Dee has got so much heart. And then you've got
yeah,
Mark and Josephine. Josephine was coming straight from the gut, and
yep,
Mark was just straight from the angels, wasn't he? Really?
yeah, yeah. Straight
Yeah,
from
you
the
know what I'm
angels.
saying?
Yeah, and that's what happens. I mean, there's four basic core motives or personality types. So they're gonna express themselves that way. We want to take someone and make it so dramatically rigid for someone that's more of a feeling type of person, or force the feeling type of person to be more rigid, or vice versa. But yeah, if you focus, those thoughts start to wire together, and you tap that frontal lobe. Network marketing. I thought I wanted to be a successful network marketer. It wasn't until that it created its own vitality that I started thinking about something much bigger, and you know, and that led me into starting an MPO, and that MPO, we're proud to say, 100% of the money that was collected went into the end users, went to end users' kitchen tables. No salaries, no money paid, no expenses,
Yeah.
and and as a result of that, my network marketing business took off. Not because people say, "Oh, he's a good guy" or anything like that. It's just that I committed to something much bigger than myself, and
Yeah.
and let it happen. Let it happen. Skywalker in the classic hero journey um, uh, depiction of Luke by Lucas. I mean, everybody in the world knows Luke Skywalker because a perfect amalgam of the hero's journey. And he started off, it was revenge, right? He wanted to avenge the death of his aunt and uncle or his grandparents, whatever. And then it got a little bigger. Then he was a reluctant hero, and then he was an ascension hero. But eventually it was about saving the entire planet and universe, which is beautiful. If it's in your heart, okay, and you're on the right track, even if we're a little not the best operators of the world of the mechanism, what happens is a cause, and this is where this cause that comes to us, which is much bigger than a mission or a vision, but a cause, comes to us, and the divine or universal, whatever, makes the network marketing thing happen. It becomes a no-brainer because we're committed to something bigger than ourselves without expectation or reciprocity. When that happens, your world changes. And let it rip, baby. Let it rip.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not going to stop letting it rip, obviously. What I'm going to ask you, Mark, is that this DMP, which is all about this global magazine for children and the Dalai Lama being part of it and all the rest of it, is already taking off.
Mm-hmm.
And what's being left behind is the original network marketing plan.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really important to me because it's a personal business plan. I know I can work globally with all sorts of people because I have those connections. That's fine. But what's really important is that I make my own little business take off.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I did. That's what happened for me. I got really involved in the church, and then I met somebody, and we created a puzzle, and I mailed it off. It's a sports puzzle that's sheer genius, and created it with guess what, a little man. I had an idea, met someone who did some drawings. We became really good friends. We dragged in another woman who helped us with the design. There it was, a mastermind alliance. Now all the time I want to make this network marketing thing work. So I got the puzzle going on, I got the charity going on, and I got to tell you, something triggered inside me. I got committed. I got into the frontal lobe and I got committed to something bigger than myself, and the network marketing thing was a joke to make it work. It was so easy. And I'd look back on it and I'd be almost embarrassed at how difficult I had made it for myself because I had been self-centered.
Yeah.
Right? And that's it. And once self-centeredness disappears, everybody that you talk to that has any inkling at all to improve their life, they want to join you because they know that it's not about you.
Can I make a comment here?
Go for it.
Well, okay, just that, when you've got a DMP that is actually going to service the world, it seems to take off, and trying to get your own small network marketing business going at the same time is always difficult in comparison. You know what I'm saying?
It's until it's not, and when you cross over, and we stop. And it happens for different people at different rates of speed, so don't worry about it, folks. This is the value of the intensity of the Master Key course, which I'm not selling, I'm giving away, okay? It's not a pitch here. But what happens in Array is that all I can tell you is I look back on it retrospectively and was really embarrassed and laughing at myself at how big I had made it and how challenging it was to get it going once I got in line with natural law, which is really what the cause did for me and how it worked. Because when we put this charity together to save this church, and we did, he was the doer, we were just the vessels. But when that happened, everything changed because I realized the cause was so important to me, okay, that all self-centeredness vanished. And that person that emerged, that transformation back into what we are intended to be, I became transparent to the transcendent and building a network marketing business, getting the puzzles off, which, just to let you know, God's got a sense of humor.
Oh, so much.
We
So many cosmic
listen. So we invent this puzzle. We
Yeah.
mail it off to every Major League Baseball team to see if they'll put it in their program. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're nobody, whatever, but we send it off to them, send it off to newspapers because it's a one-panel puzzle. So this is just the way it is.
Yeah.
I'm from Boston, so I'm supposed to hate the Yankees, but I don't. It's always more fun when the Red Sox and Yankees are at each other's throat and all that. But there is one team that I do dislike, and that's the Mets. Don't you know that I get a call from the Mets? The other 29 teams reject it. The Mets say, "Hey, this looks pretty good. We want to put it in our magazine." And it's in there. It was in the New York Mets when you go to the ballpark. Every fan, over 3 million, 2 million fans that year that got their ballpark program, got my puzzle in it. And now we love the New York Mets. And that type of stuff happens when you stop thinking about yourself. So for a lot of us, Anna Ray, we need a cause to get network marketing back into perspective. It's no big deal. It's only a big deal in that we have the ability to change other people's lives. I'm sorry, that's wrong. We have the ability to help other people learn how to help themselves and change their lives. And it just changes. So don't worry about it. Just go with it. We'll be fine.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
And we'll see you in Kauai in April.
Oh, April now, is it?
Yeah, we're gonna move it to April. Yeah.
Oh, you're so good. Okay. So you have seen this happen before, yeah? You have seen people's DMP just move ahead way beyond what they are personally trying to actually achieve.
Yep. Okay. And they achieve it anyway.
Well,
because they're doing, if the cause is a real cause, there's no expectation of reciprocity, and the universal law always works. And when you align yourself with universal law, the things that you truly desire that are good for you and don't take anybody else's good, the solutions instantly show up.
Well,
the preponderance of evidence is overwhelming.
Well, you speak the truth, and the truth can't be unspoken, can it?
No. No, not my words. Just a hard-headed student that had to go over this stuff. Okay, on this thing here, I'm not going to say the name, but one of my fears that comes up often is, will this be worth it? I am missing my children's games and time with my family. The other day, a friend mentioned she went to see a Broadway revival of Pippin. I believe it's about a boy who wants to be king, yada, yada, yada. My inner critic reminds me I often already have so much to be grateful for. One of the things that we insist on in Oates is schedule time with your family first. Don't sacrifice that. Okay? And any little sacrifices that you need to make. Don't sacrifice the main things. Don't sacrifice some nonsense time with your children. Don't do it. Schedule that first in Oates. And any sacrifice that you make of their time, you damn well better make it worth their while. They're the ones that are making the sacrifice, not you, when we're absent. So I am not going to dilly-dally on the phone, push papers, reorganize, and all that BS. And I, when Davine gave time up with me, man, I dialed like a maniac. I was going to do my best during that time. So that's how you deal with it. You got to honor their sacrifice. So you can put this in a perspective. From Vegas is my upline and former client when I was a financial advisor. The guy is absolutely. Oh, thanks, man. Sandra, you can do that right through the community. And I know Sandra had a great comment in there. It was just wonderful. She took a little break for a few days, and now she's back. Hey, just see if you can tag some people in there. They, just say, hey, you want to swap out plans of action. Susan Higley, I got to get her on the phone, man. This woman's awesome. The Higsta. So see if she's still here. We'll wrap up with this one, folks, because this is freaking amazing. Hi, Susan. How are you?
Hi, Mark.
How's it going?
Fabulous.
Fabulous. So tell us your old girlfriend is dying.
That would be right. I'm starting to commit to the routine.
Yeah.
I'm saying my stuff and doing my oaths, and I got my first customer today.
Fantastic. There you go. That's what we talked about last week, right?
Yes.
Congratulations. Now, I want to tell you something about Susan, okay? And I'm going to hop off the screen here for a second. Okay. I want to show you something. Okay, this is really important. Take me 1 second, folks. Worth your while.
Oh, the dancing guy.
No.
Oh.
This is bigger. How do you spell Colorado, honey? Okay, so Susan, true or false, you're afraid of heights?
True.
True. Folks, this is what she hiked with us over here in Kauai. She went up these mountains here. She says, remember this shot? You were up this high. and we're walking along trails. Let's see. Yeah, there's Kiki. Let me see if I can find this for you. Okay, the next year we're not going to put you out there. That's where we're going next year. We're not going to put you out there. But what was really fantastic was this is what the trail down to the beach, which she walked to, which is 2 miles. And most of the trail was, let's see, like this. Straight down 3,000 feet, looking out over the ocean and cliffs. And she was clutching along these plants here. And she inspired over 20 people with her courage. And this week you got on the phone, overcame fear, expressed courage, and got a customer. Yes?
Yes.
You are an inspiration. You're an inspiration. We're so proud of you. Thank you. Okay. Let me see. Let me see what wifey's got over here. What you got over here? It's a picture of Susan? Okay. All right. Okay, so folks, that'll wrap it up. Great call. Thanks for being here. Susan, thank you for inspiring all of us. Say hi to Dan. And we're going to talk to you later in the week, I know, which is really cool because we're masterminding with all the Josephine. Very good. Anyway, we thank you all for being here. Have a great day, and we'll see you all next week. Peace be the journey. Remember that all the conditions in your life are a result of the choices that you make with your mind, and you're getting control over that. Okay.